You squeeze into existence from your parents' thorax in a cold metal container, one tadpole among dozens, all of you wriggling in a tiny puddle of murky liquid that smells vaguely of iron and despair. Welcome to life as Species 19, though nobody asked you what you wanted to be called. Your parent doesn't stick around for hugs or life advice. They're already working on unscrewing the lid of your containment unit because apparently, that's the family business now. You're basically a swimming comma with ambitions of becoming a full-blown nightmare. Your siblings bump into you constantly. Everyone fighting for the best spot in this metallic swimming pool. Some corporate scientist labeled your container years ago, and you've been floating here in what feels like the galaxy's most boring aquarium. 65 years your ancestors have been trapped in this ship called the Maginot, generation after generation living in glorified pickle jars. But today, something's different. The whole ship shudders, metal groans, and suddenly your container tilts sideways. The lid pops off. Not from your parents' clever unscrewing this time, but from the pure chaos of a crash landing. Water spills everywhere, carrying you and your siblings across the laboratory floor. You slide under a cabinet, past some sparking wires, and straight into a drain pipe. Down you go, tumbling through darkness until you splash into what appears to be the ship's water system. Score! This is way better than that cramped container. You swim through the pipes, your tiny body navigating the current with surprising ease. Your instincts tell you exactly what to do. Find a warm body, get inside, and start the feast. It's not exactly a heartwarming life goal. But hey, you didn't write your own genetic code. After what feels like hours of pipe surfing, you emerge in what looks like a water bottle. How convenient. Someone's definitely going to drink from this eventually. Sure enough, here comes your first victim. Some science officer reaches for the bottle, completely unaware that you and 3 of your siblings are doing synchronized swimming routines inside. They take a long drink, and down you go, riding the waterfall straight into their esophagus. Your siblings scatter to different parts of the digestive system, but you've got your eyes, or whatever sensory organs you have, set on the real prize, the bloodstream. You latch onto an artery near the stomach lining, your microscopic hooks dig in, anchoring you firmly as warm blood rushes past. This is it, the motherlode, the all-you-can-eat buffet you were literally born for. You start feeding immediately, your tiny body expanding with each gulp. The iron-rich feast tastes way better than that stagnant container water ever did. Days pass as you grow from tadpole to something more substantial. Your body develops segments, little appendages sprouting from your sides. You're becoming less comma, more apostrophe with legs. The host starts feeling tired, probably wondering why they're so exhausted lately. Sorry, not sorry. But you've got growing to do. Your appetite increases exponentially. What started as gentle sips from the artery becomes aggressive, gulping. You're doubling in size every few days, your body stretching and expanding inside the warm darkness of your host's body cavity. Your siblings are doing the same thing in their respective locations. You can sense them somehow, all of you connected by some weird biological Wi-Fi that nobody really understands. 3 weeks in, and you're ready for the grand exit. Your body has grown too large for this meat apartment, and honestly, the rent's getting expensive in terms of blood consumption. You and your siblings coordinate your emergence, because apparently even parasitic aliens understand the value of teamwork. You all burst through different exit points simultaneously. You choose the chest route, classic but effective, tearing through tissue and bone with your newly developed mandibles. Fresh air hits you for the first time, though calling the recycled ship atmosphere fresh is generous. You're about the size of a fat slug now, your body sections pumping as you crawl away from your former host. Behind you, your siblings emerge from various other unfortunate points of exit. Together, you scatter across the laboratory floor, each searching for your next meal. Growing into your juvenile phase is rough. You've got competition from your siblings. And everyone's hunting the same prey. The ship's ecosystem is limited, mostly consisting of whatever crew members are still stumbling around after the crash. You've developed better senses now, able to detect body heat from several meters away, smell the iron in blood through skin. Your body has grown to about the size of a large leech, with distinct segments and multiple pairs of gripping appendages. You discover you can spin web-like structures, though honestly, you're not entirely sure what they're for. Maybe tripwires? Elaborate art installations? Your genetic memory isn't exactly clear on this feature. You string them across doorways and ventilation shafts anyway, Because why not use every tool in your biological toolkit? One day, you detect a group of warm bodies approaching your section of the ship. Fresh meat! But these ones are different, wearing thick armor and moving cautiously. You've learned to be smart about this. You work with another tick, tag-teaming the situation. While your partner distracts one of them by making obvious movements near a computer terminal, you silently drop from the ceiling onto another's neck. Your specialized mouthparts pierce through the soft spot where helmet meets suit. The blood that flows out is incredible, probably the best meal you've had since leaving your first host. You feed greedily, your rear segment swelling like a grotesque balloon. Within minutes, you've drained enough blood to make your victim collapse. Your body is now disgustingly engorged, dragging behind you as you crawl away to digest this feast. The ship has become your hunting ground. You've memorized every corridor, every hiding spot, every water source where you might lay your own offspring someday. You and the other ticks have developed a weird social structure. Not exactly friendship, more of a mutual understanding. You hunt together when it benefits everyone, scatter when resources get scarce. Sometimes you even share information through chemical signals, warning each other about threats or pointing toward fresh prey. You've grown massive now, your body easily the size of a football when fully engorged. Your intelligence has developed beyond simple hunting instinct. You can problem solve, recognize patterns, even predict behavior. When those armored soldiers try to trap you, you know how to fake being caught, only to slip away at the last second. You've watched them long enough to understand their weaknesses, their blind spots. Reproduction time arrives with all the romance of a tax audit. You find a suitable water source, probably another forgotten water bottle or cooling system reservoir, and release your first batch of tadpoles. Hundreds of them, all wriggling with the same purposeful hunger you once had. You don't stick around for parenting duties. They'll figure it out just like you did, or they won't. Natural selection isn't known for its sentiment. Your body has developed new abilities as you've matured. That poison gas defense mechanism? You've perfected it. Now, when threatened, you can release a cloud that makes attackers bleed from every orifice while their lungs shut down. It's not exactly a party trick that wins friends, but it keeps you alive. You've also learned to coordinate attacks with other ticks, surrounding prey and taking them down like a pack of grotesque, blood-sucking wolves. The ship's ecosystem is changing. Other alien species have escaped their containers too. There's this weird eyeball octopus thing that keeps trying to steal your kills, and some plant creature that honestly just seems confused about everything. But the worst is this big black nightmare with 2 mouths and acid blood. You've learned to avoid that one entirely. Even parasites have standards about what they're willing to fight. Years pass, or what feels like years in this metal tomb floating through space. You've grown old by tick standards, your body less elastic than it used to be. Feeding takes longer, your movements are slower, younger ticks are starting to challenge your territory, and you can't fight them all off like you used to. You find yourself in the ship's ventilation system, watching a group of young ticks coordinate an attack on some poor maintenance worker. They're using techniques you pioneered, but with more energy, more coordination. You consider joining them, but your bloated body barely fits through the vents anymore. A scientist in a hazmat suit spots you through a grate. They're holding some kind of scanning device, probably trying to catalog the ship's new ecosystem. You could attack, could release your poison gas, could do what you've always done. Instead, you just stare at them through the grate with what passes for eyes on your grotesque body. They stare back, and for a moment, there's almost understanding between you. Then they pull out a flamethrower, because apparently that's how all great scientific observations end. You scurry away as fast as your engorged segments can carry you, which isn't very fast at all. You finally settle in the ship's water treatment facility, surrounded by the next generation of tadpoles from various ticks. You're basically the weird uncle at the family reunion nobody talks to. Sometimes you feed on whatever corpse drifts by, but mostly you just float there, wondering if that container you were born in is still lying around somewhere. A young tick swims past, probably your own offspring from generations ago, and bumps into you accidentally. It immediately releases a panic cloud of poison gas right in your face. Your own defense mechanism being used against you. How poetic. As you float there, eyes bleeding from your own species' toxic fumes, you can't help but think, maybe those scientists had the right idea keeping everyone in separate containers. At least then family reunions didn't end with everyone coughing up blood and crying toxic tears while the youngsters swim away laughing. If ticks could laugh, which they can't, but you're pretty sure that little jerk would be if it could.